Re 0, Arc 8, Prologue, Aldebaran.
A place that was not here, a time that once was, a world that may someday come to pass, a dream that would shortly fade, regrets that would never cease for all eternity. Following star, such is the meaning that it seems to bear. Despite shining the brightest of all the stars in its constellation, it is still called so. Do you not believe it a name that befits you, who has carried all of our expectations upon yourself and yet still betrayed them, ironically too well? The one to speak those words, with black eyes upon white hair, with black dress upon white skin, with black desires upon white hopes, was a witch who, from the top of her head to the tips of her toes, was entirely split between the color black and the color white, albeit emanating a smile ripe with intimacy. No warmth whatsoever was present within the witch's eyes. Such was the kind of person she was. Neither disdain nor ire was being directed towards the individual known as himself. Rather, she was merely that kind of person by nature, a being incapable of treading any other path. Proof of a witch. From her, a witch by birth unlike all others, he could not hope for any warmth. Which, now that is a tiny bit vexing. It is certainly a flaw in my personality. I will admit that I can lose sight of what is right in front of me when I get passionate, but is it not rather charming when coming from a girl with an appearance like my own? My body is physically warm. I can give you warmth. It was not as though she had gotten worked up. He knew that this was just an imitation of such a response. Because he knew, he could not help but want to inquire. Did she truly feel nothing? Did she truly think nothing? And about him, did she truly? Which, why must love fade? A brief comment killed the question he had begun to utter, mercilessly so. Along with that, it had also killed any and all motivation to ascertain whether that had been because she wished not to be questioned, or because she wished not allow him to question her. Which, why, must it fade? A feeling that is never lost, a radiance that never disappears, an obsession that never dims, are those things not called love? If they are, then, why? The words that followed drove a blade deep into the remains of the motivation, of the question that had already been slain. The blade of words raised aloft, the greed desireful of that knowledge, caring not for the blood flowing from those remains, repeated that act many, many times, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of millions of times. Which, you have fully expended yourself. You have betrayed our expectations. He knew that he would be blamed. No, that was incorrect. He hoped he would be. Having reached this point, he still wished for somebody to guarantee him a connection. Having turned against unperishing wrath, against unfulfillable lust, against unquenchable gluttony, against unforsakable pride, against sloth of just wanting to be held complacent, and against the utmost important envy, he still wished for that, which, you are greed. A matter of course, is it not? For it is I who made you like so. The witch's quiet condemnation was a lethal poison resembling kindness. Far too many would not avert their eyes despite knowing that drawing near would mean their demise, afraid to even let out their voices, a fatal poison that, amidst a sweet fragrance, implored for their death. However, for only those born and raised within that poison, there existed a sole possibility. Thus, as long as there was a possibility, which, will you pick it up no matter what? Why shall we still harbor expectations in you, when you have already betrayed our expended expectations? What do you have? What can you say? I am not condemning you, it is purely a question. Thus, I also ask if there is anything I can do. Raising both her arms, the witch of white and black smiled. Which, supposing you possess the willpower to continue, and that your motivation is able to influence the results, I am willing to do anything in my power to help you. If such is to your liking, I do not even mind you using my body. Albeit frail, if it can help you not give up, I will offer it with delight. Smiling as she spoke so, the witch thought nothing of it. If he were to start thinking like that, he would end up going in circles. To begin with, even he knew that such was not the case. If she was truly such a being, one who thought, felt, and knew nothing, then, which, why must love fade? This time, it was clear that it was a rejection. He understood the role he was expected to play, the process he had to carry out, both were included. All that remained was to put it to practice. Until he got it right, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of millions. Even if it's beyond the realm of a billion, only I can reach it, he would continue to challenge it. As long as that possibility remained, he could keep challenging it. By doing so, without fail, he would accomplish it. Without fail, he, having been reduced to a following star, would, no matter what will definitely kill you, which, with a gaze that could not be pinned to neither expectation nor despair, the witch watched over that determination. By nature, a witch would neither wish for such to succeed, nor would she wish for it to fail. But this was different. Words of consolation, she would provide. Before the following star could burn out, its heat becoming no longer able to reach the ground, she would deliver words to save the heart of the following star, acting as his teacher, which, your luck was. No, indeed, revising the words he had been about to say, the witch continued. Words most appropriate for that following star, words that would serve to comfort his fate, those were, which, Natsuki Subaru failed you.